A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to all of you all. I'm Rekha Khan, your host for the webinar, and today we have with us Ms. Tarusha Mittal, expert in crypto and NFT space, joining us for the webinar. Today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of investing in NFTs. On joining, you would notice that you all are in mute, and if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please write them on the chat section. At the end of the webinar, we would be holding a Q&A session where all the queries of the participants would be answered by Tarusha. From the creator of Odin MCX and IEX, here is yet another credible and exchange-neutral platform a user can rely on while walking towards the path of crypto and blockchain understanding. Starting from education to knowledge to all the latest news, all covered under one super app, 3.0 Wire. Crypto now, as you all know, has now been rebranded as 3.0 Worlds. From a novice to a professional trader, every market participant can have a slice of information readily available on the touch of their fingers. Let me first walk you through the 3.0 University, 3.0 TV, and 3.0 Wire services. We all know that the crypto and blockchain ecosystem is emerging at an immense speed, and to keep a track of all the events, prices, and news look to be difficult. So what if we have an app like our buddy who works with us, things like us, in response to what we expect? Yes, our own global crypto super app, 3.0 Verse. Let me quickly take you all through the homepage of our app, which covers all the three pillars: 3.0 University, 3.0 TV, and 3.0 Wire. Under the Wire services, we have rolled out India's first global index of IC15. It tracks the performance of the top 15 cryptocurrencies globally based on market capitalization. Crypto enthusiasts and crypto traders can make informed decisions based on IC15. Under the WireWatch section, we can monitor the best exchange to buy and the best exchange to sell a particular cryptocurrency. In the center of the screen, you can monitor the arbitrage opportunity available between the two exchanges for the same cryptocurrency. There are more than 400 plus cryptocurrencies listed on our platform, along with 70 plus crypto exchanges worldwide. Coming to 3.0 TV, it's an exclusive 24/7 mobile IPTV covering anything on crypto and blockchain ecosystem. It is currently available on 4 different languages: English, Hindi, Gujarati, and Marathi. Under the 3.0 University, we have a lot of courses which we've uploaded on crypto and blockchain. Would appreciate if you all go through the same. Now I would like to introduce, I'm very happy to introduce our guest speaker, Ms. Tarusha Mittal, COO and CEO founder, Oro Pocket and Unifarm. She would be sharing her views and ideas on today's topic. A dynamic powerhouse and an award-winning entrepreneur, Ms. Tarusha is the visionary force behind Oro Pocket, a universal investment platform on blockchain. She has been actively working on the blockchain and the crypto space since more than a decade. Tarusha has been the co-founder for multiple successful technology ventures in the past prior to founding Oro Pocket. Tarusha is also been associated with several accelerator programs all over the world and has won Step 360 awards for technology. She also achieved DST Grant Award from the Government of India and IIT Delhi. She was one of the finalists for the Anita Board's WEQ cohort for the year 2019. Tarusha is running a pet project called Miss CEO, which empowers and mentors aspiring and early stage women entrepreneurs. Tarusha is an avid reader, and this has helped her in exploring the dynamic world of crypto and blockchain. Hi, Tarusha. How are you?
Hi, Rekha. Thank you so much for the lovely words. It's lovely to be here.
Thank you.
So should we get started?
Yes, ma'am. We can.
All right, awesome. So what I'll do is I'll start sharing my screen. I have a little bit of a PPT prepared. We'll go through the PPT quickly, and then I can take up questions.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, just a bit of an intro about myself. What have I been doing so far? So I've been in the crypto space since 2012, essentially, when we were working on a data center startup. and we decided to be a good time to sort of try and mine some Ethereum. And that is essentially how I got bit by the by basically the crypto bug. And there hasn't been any looking back since then. So post that in 2015, my co-founder and I, we co-founded one of the first Ethereum exchanges of India. In 2017, it had to be shut down because of the RBI order that had come in, which kind of did not let banks deal with corporate entities that are dealing with crypto. So that essentially meant that we had to shut down our exchange because we had not raised any money, and or we could have just moved operations abroad, but that was like a tedious and expensive process then. So that was the first venture in crypto. Post that, we started working on OroPocket, which is a fintech platform. And now, apart from OroPocket, we're also working on Unitfarm, which is essentially a Web3 enabler ecosystem that we are trying to create, which converges into a dApp store, which is like a play store for decentralized applications. So that has been my journey so far. I also have a podcast in this space called Living on Blockchain. I'm really happy to be here today so that I can tell you guys a little bit about investing in NFTs, a little bit about NFTs. I hope my screen is visible to everybody. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Okay. So today we'll be basically covering what are NFTs, the different types of NFTs, a little bit about soul-bound tokens, how to invest in NFTs, and certain caveats, because essentially this is all about getting the pros and cons about NFT investing, right? So what are NFTs? NFT stands for non-fungible token. Essentially, non-fungible is an economic term that you can use to describe anything that, anything like your furniture, a song file, tickets. Basically, these things are not interchangeable for other items because they have their own unique properties. Like you can't exchange one ticket for, say, another ticket, or one of those. Think of it like one of those cards that we could get, like trading cards that we used to get. We could change them and barter, but they are not one and the same. They all held their own value. So NFTs basically are something like that. It is non-fungible in nature. They are not interchangeable. So NFTs are essentially tokens that are used to represent ownership of anything unique. So, you can tokenize things like art, collectibles, any kind of content, even real estate or, ownership rights, or ownership of any asset basically can be tokenized, and it can be secured by blockchain, hence tokenized. And, depending on which blockchain you're kind of tokenizing it, like Ethereum, no one can really modify the record of that ownership or, just sort of copy paste the NFT, because NFTs essentially are on blockchain where the data is immutable and the record becomes permanent. So here's a little bit of a history about NFTs. You can trace back NFTs back to 2012, but really they started coming of age in 2018 when there was CryptoKitties, and a lot of people started getting into CryptoKitties. Those were essentially kitties and cats that were on blockchain, and you could play with them. Think of it like virtual pets. So that is essentially when it really blew up. Then obviously there was CryptoPunks, there is OpenSea that happened, and that kind of changed the way content creators create any kind of content, and they realized that they can create digital content which would remove any middle layer or any any intermediary from reaching out to their end user. Then there is Super Rare. And obviously, until I think by last year, NFTs were accepted, and then everybody realized that they're here to stay, especially when people sold an artwork which was for like $69 odd million. And also, like moving forward, there are so many startups that are working in the decentralized ID space, using the NFT technology to issue IDs. So this is like a very short history and a timeline for NFTs, but they have been around for a while, but I think they kind of really blew up when in 2018, and in 2021, people realized that they are here to stay. So how do NFTs work? NFTs are basically different from ERC20 tokens, like the usual tokens, because each individual token is completely unique. So, one Ethereum is equal to another Ethereum, but that is not the case with one NFT, and it is not divisible as well. So ownership of NFTs is managed through a unique ID and metadata that no other token can really replicate. NFTs are minted smart contracts that assign ownership and manage the transferability of the NFT. When someone creates or mints an NFT, they execute code stored in smart contracts that conform to different standards, either ERC 721 or 1155. Types of, again, I would not get into the technicalities of, the kind of tech that is going behind it. So when I'm saying something like a different standard, like ERC 721 or 1155, this is perhaps not something that, day-to-day users need to really know about. When you go, and if you want to mint your own NFT, you can go say on a Rarible or an OpenSea, and they will tell you exactly what to do. It's like a few click process to mint your own NFT or create your own digital art. Both of these different standards come with their, differences, slight differences in technology, in the way whether transferability can happen, etc. or not. Usually they are minted on the same standard, ERC 721, that lets secondary transfers take place. So, you can buy an NFT and you can resell it. Types of NFTs. So again, the use cases are developing even now till date. I think more and more use cases are coming up every day. NFT basically, started off as like a representation of a digital artwork, and the original artwork, keeping the sanctity of the original maintained, and sanctifying it and making sure that it's on blockchain, making it immutable. That is how it started. Sorry, but now, you get NFTs for a host of other things, like even tickets, original music, any kind of content that is being created, even in-game items. So if you're playing a game, you might be able to purchase an NFT for like a particular piece of clothing or a particular piece of power, and you can hold on to that. Obviously, there are digital collectibles as well. But as we are moving forward, there are decentralized IDs. People are looking at decentralized, basically uniform IDs like Aadhaar or passport, putting it on blockchain. Looking at DIDs. People are looking at NFTs for just furthering technology in the sense with medical records, or personalizing the NFT journey a little bit more. We'll come to SBTs, which are soul-bound tokens, and I'll talk about that as well in a bit. But let's first cover who creates NFTs. So again, keeping the use cases in mind, anybody can create NFTs, and now platforms like OpenSea, Rarible have made it really easy to just sort of get or mint an NFT very quickly without any resistance. It's a few step process. You're going to go on their website, and all the steps are enumerated. You can just follow the steps. It's as easy as creating, say, a Gmail account or any email account for that matter. So anybody can create NFTs, from artists to entrepreneurs, art advocates, corporations, authors, videographers, social media personalities. Anybody at all can create NFTs. So if you think that you are holding something which is original, or your content is original, that you wish to actually tokenize it and put it on blockchain, even if it is digital artwork or even if it is physical artwork, you can back it up, you can create an NFT and back it up with the physical artwork. So anything original can be basically, the ownership can be recorded in the form of an NFT that cannot be divided. So no experience is necessary. And, as long as you can prove that you legally own that content, you can mint an NFT. Who buys NFTs? So again, anybody and everybody can buy an NFT. When somebody purchases an NFT, they get rights to the unique token and the metadata on blockchain. So you are able to own that particular, you have copyright to that particular art piece as per, again, the standard or like the fine print, but essentially owning an NFT means that you are the owner of that particular, creation. The benefit of collecting specifically, there are different benefits. So here we've just taken an example of portion, but there are multiple other benefits that are there and for different platforms which you are using to, mint NFTs or store your NFTs or trade in NFTs. So I wouldn't get into the specifics, but I would highly suggest that if you're starting off, you start off with something like a Rarible or OpenSea, which are easy and have a good interface. So you can really, get your hands dirty with the NFT bit. So what are soul-bound tokens? Again, soul-bound tokens are digital identity tokens, but and they represent traits, features, achievements, and basically sensitive data. But the difference here is the soul-bound tokens are non-transferable. So, once they are minted, they are associated with one particular wallet ID and they cannot be transferred to another. So sold-bound tokens see utility in the case of, say, medical records or, identities again. So stuff that is very uniquely yours, I'm sorry, and that does not require to be transferred. Those are, that is like the easiest definition for soul-bound tokens. With NFTs, when, you are creating something and you're minting a token, you can always buy a particular NFT and then resell it, say on OpenSea or Rarible, and that person can further resell it. And the artist would get compensated or royalties as per, again, the standard that you've used. Or that might not be the case as well. As I said, it depends on the standard. But with soul-bound tokens, that is not the case. I just wanted to touch upon this because SBTs have become really big of late. So this is like just a very basic intro. Moving further, how to invest in NFTs. So basically, NFTs are generated and purchased using crypto or Tether. So, you can register a new account with OpenSea or a competing NFT marketplace, any marketplace that you like with a good UI. You can create a crypto wallet and purchase some Ether, or if you are, depending, there are now people minting NFTs also on, Polygon. So depending on what you're planning to purchase, have some, be ready to pay some gas fee because that's a transaction fee that you will incur. You can link your crypto wallet and then, you can start bidding on NFTs or you can start purchasing NFTs. Why do people buy NFTs? So, this is kind of debatable, but the basic ideas or reasons why people really buy NFTs are to support creators and digital artists. Some NFT buyers simply want to support the digital artists that are creating them as an investment. Some it's like holding on to art, right? Art investment is so big, so you should people also invest in such art pieces and digital creations because they see value in holding on to them. They believe that this is something that will appreciate. The joy of collecting, like many other real world collectors, there are people who collect stamps, trading cards and whatnot. So this is also, something to collect and to create a collection, have a collection that, you can brag about. Obviously, there are other reasons as well, because now there are utility based NFTs as well. So, there is a startup called, I am completely blanking out of the name, but I think it's called Zostil or Zostil. I think basically they are issuing NFTs that will give you access to certain hostels. So that is like kind of a real world utility for an NFT. So just because you're holding that particular NFT in your wallet in a virtual form, you can get access to certain clubs, and it has like variety of utility. Now it is not just limited to just artwork. There's a lot that you can do with NFTs, and a lot of startups are actually dealing and exploring that. So is NFT kind of like the right investment for you? So this is, again, this is something that would border on financial advice, and I try to not give that. I would like you to ask yourself whether, how strongly do you feel about that particular NFT? Are you investing because of the utility? Are you investing because of the artist? Are you, trying to gain something by what is your end goal? I think with any investment, you should really ask yourself, what is your end goal? Are you just holding, you're putting in the money to hold on to it and you're going to wait for it to appreciate? Or is it because of the utility that, you are actually putting in your money? So do that kind of research, do that due diligence and try to find out, how does this really help you? So, if you'd like to make a profit, I think everybody does like to make a profit and there is nothing wrong with that. But if you're just starting off, it might be because crypto is very, very volatile. So NFTs are very volatile as well. So it might not be the best thing for you to do. Perhaps putting in a lot of money in NFTs. And I think in crypto or any investment for that matter, I think, you should just put in the money that you are willing to lose because this is ultimately then, out of your bank or out of your pocket is out in the world. And there is a good chance that it will work. But again, my foremost advice has always been, please do your due diligence so that, you are not burning your hands. sorry, NFT ecosystem. Basically, this is a large ecosystem, and this slide doesn't do any justice, but it covers some marketplaces where you can go and purchase and trade and sell NFTs or even mint NFTs. Then there is the infrastructure bit. So marketplaces again would be something like an OpenSea or a Rarible, Rarebits, Auctionity. Infrastructure would be basically the backend where you are keeping the NFT. So MetaMask is there, Decentraland is there, and there are others as well. As I said, this slide does not do justice in any way for the NFT ecosystem, but we try to cover some here. Then there are studios that help in creating and minting these NFTs, because some NFTs are obviously digital arts, right? So that kind of studios do help with that. And then there are games and collectibles. I think games have been one of the major ways in which adoption in the NFT space has been happening. So people pay, they were. So just think about the time when you were paying a game on your phone or an app, on an application, say on iOS or Android, and then to get a few more gems or tokens or to get a superpower, you used to make a payment, right? Or to get like a very cool shirt or some kind of outfit. So essentially, games are giving you that particular entity. Now what they're doing is they're actually making an NFT out of it. So it is a unique thing that you're holding. And there are collectibles as well. So there are, again, games like CryptoKitties was one of the older ones, Ever Dragons, Ether Kingdom, Ethereum, lots of games in this space where, you can actually play and earn with not just with NFTs, but with crypto as well. Prominent NFT platforms, I think I've kind of mentioned it already, OpenSea, Rarible, Mintable, there's Makerspace. There are so many now. Initially, there was just like one or two, but now, you can just Google it and you can pick and choose which one do you really want to go forward with. The pros and cons of NFTs. Very debatable thing, but we've tried to cover a few pros and cons here. So pros are that it could help unlock a new revenue stream, right? For content creators, for gaming industry, for art, sports, and technology. Now there are NFTs for movies as well. So the 1983, the movie had Ranveer Singh in it. It's Mine had created NFTs that were backed by physical cricket paraphernalia that was used in the 1983 World Cup. So that is like a new revenue stream. That is like something, creating a collectible and, putting it on blockchain, making sure that the ownership is immutable. It could help and introduce millions of people to cryptocurrencies because this is easy. This is an easy gateway. That's like, getting people, say, on mobile. Games are like an easier way because not everybody would find utility in the other apps that are there, but games everybody likes to play in their free time. So gaming has become like so big in getting users to adopt to the internet. So again, here, when you are getting NFTs into the play, which is something aesthetically appealing, easy, relatively easy to get, with good UI, better UI than most crypto apps, then it's a good gateway to get a lot and move a lot towards mass adoption. It transforms the attitude towards ownership and makes it easy to own real world assets. So okay, so just imagine a time. I think out of the audience that we have right now, a lot of our families would have seen property dispute cases. That is very common, and this is something that NFTs, if you're putting land ownership or even like a particular property ownership on blockchain, you're putting it in a form of an NFT, then that goes away because there is no question that, this particular property belongs to XYZ or not. You can't really dispute something like that. It's immutable. Nobody can change it. It's on blockchain. So again, with NFTs, it changes the attitude that, you're not spending so many human hours and resources on debating whether a property or asset is actually yours or not. There are several cons as well. Building dApps may be difficult and time consuming, but then this goes for Web3 in general, I think, because we are, dealing with new protocols, new chains. This is something time consuming, but, it's worth the time that you're putting in most of the time because this is something new and the utility is endless. It's too difficult for normal users to understand, needs to be simplified for future usage. That is why we do, webinars like these to make sure that we are taking jargon out of the conversation. It doesn't have to be difficult. Crypto doesn't have to be difficult. Web3 doesn't have to be difficult. NFTs don't have to be difficult. I abhor the idea that, this is just for the techies. I think everybody can find and make use of their skills and time in this space. And same goes for NFTs as well. possibility of users buying and selling an asset to make a short profit, making the market extremely unstable. So I think, again, not a very valid con, because this is, again, very true for almost all investments that you do, that, users might be able to find a loophole and they might make, a lot of profit shorting anything, making the market volatile. The crypto market in general is very volatile. I think even equity markets are very volatile. So you have to keep all of that in mind when you are putting in your money. Now coming to the cherry on the cake, key risks of investing in NFTs. So, the kind of risks associated, obviously, one is price manipulation, that, some influencers or some people in the space might really start shilling you a particular NFT or a collectible, and, that will really create this FOMO in everybody's head, and, it'll push up the price. So that is something that you need to be a little aware of. You need to see and check the market trends, check who is really pushing for this. Is it something that really has utility, or is it just because, some influencers are talking about it? And that is okay too. So, BAYC Club, so that they have, I think it is mostly because it is so exclusive that, those Bored Ape NFTs are so expensive that it creates an exclusive community of all of these people who are owning it. So you need to see the value. There is value there, because, you wouldn't really be in an exclusive club with those people otherwise. So there is value to be had there, but you need to be able to differentiate and distinguish, and, whether the real value is being created or whether it is just shilling. Obviously, losing the password, this is for any crypto. If you lose your password, then you lose your money. Decentralization comes with more responsibility on the end user. NFTs you invest in could face copyright issues. So be careful about that, you are actually investing in an original. There are scamsters in every space. Difficulty in differentiating original from the counterfeit art. This is not very difficult, but yes, for somebody who's starting off, it can be a challenge. You just need to sort of look it up, understand who the artist is, and check their socials, check their creds, and then decide whether this is original art or whether this is a counterfeit. There is no regulatory body and there is no forum as such. So again, I don't necessarily agree with the no forum part, because I think social media is like a huge forum for NFTs, crypto, and there are a lot of other communities as well where you can discuss about stuff like this. Regulatory body, yes. So, crypto is not regulated, neither are NFTs. There are different set of laws and rules in every country, and and that is not necessarily a bad thing, because this industry is very, very young. So, we can't expect all the policy to be there on day one. Policy is usually iterative and it is retrospective. So that is like work in progress. I think once even something like a digital gold does not have regulation around it, but people purchase digital gold and get it delivered, like get the physical asset delivered. So I think that the regulatory body aspect is something that is very dicey any which way for a lot of classes. If you start looking it up, it will surprise you. So I don't think that this should keep you away from investing in NFTs if you really think that something holds key value. I believe that this is the last slide. Let me just check. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much what I had for you guys. I would love to answer any questions that you might have. That would make the session so much more interactive.
Thank you so much, Tarusha. That was really interesting, and in a very simple language, you explained to us what are the pros and cons and what is NFT and how does it impact. So with this, I would want to understand your viewpoints on what is the environmental impacts of NFT.
Okay, so, environmental impact, this is again a bit of a dicey question to ask. See, usually NFTs use Ethereum, right? NFTs are minted on Ethereum, but Ethereum has recently moved from proof of work to proof of stake. So obviously that kind of does have an impact in the kind of power that goes into minting NFTs. Having said that, usually this is an old stat, like with proof of work, it used to take approximately, I think there was a research done by Ms. Sari that said that it takes 48 kilowatt hour per NFT to be minted, and a lifetime value of 75 kilowatt hour. That is what is kind of it takes. But again, these numbers are old, and this is based on very macro level research that they are just assuming that it will be just sold an X number of times. It won't be resold post that. So there is an environmental impact, but with the recent merge, I think, that would come down as well. And it's very hard to pinpoint on really how much, because it hasn't been very long since we've seen like a huge advent, in this space.
Cool. Thank you. I think I've got a question from Rohan in the chat. Are there any scams that can make me lose my ownership of NFTs?
Yeah. So, Rohan, obviously, there are scams in every space, and, human beings find a way. But even with NFTs, what can happen is what essentially can happen with any crypto token that you might be holding. If you're holding any crypto in your wallet, and if you lose your password, or, it gets hacked into, if it is a hot wallet, then, you can lose ownership, right? So recently, I think yesterday, I saw somebody who owned some BAYC and some other really great NFTs, and their OpenSea was hacked. And, they kind of, put out a warning that, okay, please do not buy this if it is being resold anywhere else, because my account was hacked. So the kind of scams that are associated with NFTs are pretty similar to what would you associate with crypto tokens as well. So essentially what you need to do is, again, be careful on which links you are clicking, where are you creating your wallet, what are you keeping in your hot wallet, what are you keeping in your cold storage, all of those due diligence that goes for crypto tokens as well.
Cool. Thank you. Then there's a question from Bhubi. Can a physical thing also be sold as an NFT? Like, can I click a picture of my painting and sell the same in the NFT space?
You can absolutely do that. A lot of people are doing that, but you will have to, you'll have to mention whether the picture comes along or not. So if, for example, as I gave the example of 1983, the movie, they had NFTs for that particular movie. And all of these NFTs were backed by physical cricket paraphernalia, which was actually cricket bat that was used by Kapil Dev in the 83 World Cup. So, you were buying an NFT, but you were also getting the bat. So that is something that, you can definitely do. You just need to be very clear with your end user that this is what you're doing, and, the physical art would be shipped to you at a later time, perhaps.
Thanks. The next question that we have is, what is an NFT minting service?
Okay. So an NFT minting service would be anything like, when you are on OpenSea or Readable, you are able to upload your digital artwork or your artwork or your any kind of content. And then, you are just clicking through a few steps, and they are minting or creating the NFT or putting the ownership of your particular artwork on blockchain, hence tokenizing it, creating an NFT out of it at the back end. You don't have to get into the technicalities of it. This is essentially what is NFT minting.
There's a question that has come in from Prachi. What is the ideal number of NFT copies one should mint?
So NFTs are, again, unique. So, one artwork, like if you're creating an NFT, then it'll be just one. But it can be like, it can be a collectible, right? Or it can be a collection, like fashion designers do collections, right? One theme, different kind of pieces of clothing. So again, you can create like a collection, one particular theme across several artworks. But NFTs are not divisible. So it would not be that, you're creating one piece of art and, you're sort of, you're dividing it up into several NFTs. That cannot happen.
Cool. Thank you. Next up is, what is an NFT trading card?
Okay, this is interesting because I gave this example as well. So trading cards are, remember how we used to get Tezos, I think they were called, or Tazos, I don't remember, but you used to get them with chips, right? Or you used to get those wrestling trading cards or Pokemon cards. So, something like that, but in a digital form on blockchain. That is essentially what a trading card is. So it can, again, where you're getting it from, what is it about? Essentially, that is exactly what it is, but it is on blockchain and it's in a digital format.
There's one last question, I think. I don't know if there's anything else coming in, but there's one question from Kiran. NFTs work on pyramid scheme. Is there a way late buyers can get benefited from them?
Of course, and I don't agree that, it's like a pyramid scheme, because see, what happens is pyramid scheme sounds like a Ponzi scheme. So I don't really agree with that premise. I think, that is just like, okay, let me give you an example. So if somebody is holding artwork, say of the artist Monet, okay, and that family decides to sell that artwork because, perhaps the patriarch has passed on and the estate owner right now currently wants to perhaps liquidate the assets, and that is what they're doing. They perhaps go to like an auction house like Sotheby's or any of these Christie's, and puts that particular artwork for bidding. So you wouldn't call that a pyramid scheme. It's just secondary sale, right? That you hold an asset and now you are selling that particular asset. The way, again, obviously that appreciates in value, like artwork like Monet obviously appreciates in value. So, that might seem like, okay, somebody coming in late is not benefiting. But when, you're buying something like artwork, you're actually buying it for posterity. You're not buying it for yourself. Nobody buys artwork for themselves. You're buying it for, to give on to your family, to your children, and to just brag about it. So again, with artwork specifically, with NFTs, you shouldn't think that, you're getting in too late, because what happens is that markets are cyclical. That affects the price of NFTs as well. Again, depending on how famous a particular artist is, like for example, like Beeple became like pretty famous, and he was doing really well. So he sold an artwork for $69 million. Depends on the perception of the artist as well. So I think it doesn't have to be like, okay, we didn't buy the first version of that NFT, so now we're kind of losing. It would have to again come down to the utility, the perception that people hold about that artist and that artwork, that whether they think that it's going to appreciate, or whether they think that this is not something that will appreciate, and it's just a passing fad. So that is a call that you need to take.
Cool. Thank you. I think that was the last question that we had. Thank you so much. Is there any more questions that we have? Cool. So I think that's about it. We don't have any more questions. Thank you, Tarusha. This was a very interesting and informative session. If there are any more questions, you all can post it. I don't think there are any. I would also like to thank all the wonderful audience who've shown interest in learning and making informed decisions before entering the NFT market. Thank you so much. We will join you back next week again on Tuesday. Thank you, Tarusha. It was great interacting with you.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This was absolutely wonderful. If there are any further questions that you would like me to answer, anything at all, please reach out to me on Twitter. My DMs are always open. It's my handle is Tarusha M, and I'd be happy to take up any questions or any advice if you would like over NFTs or Web3 in general. As always, this was completely my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Have a nice day. Bye.
You too. Bye.